We do this, we do this, we do this, that, and the other. It should be everything for now. Is it this one? I don't remember if I'm pressing the right button or not. How's that camera moved? Has it moved? Or am I just being stupid? I do this instead. Yes. Hello. Hi. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good day, good night. And all that. No, I don't like the webcam like that. Look at my face. Right, yeah, I'm here with this, which is the GAT-X131 Calamity Gundam. Oh, full mechanics. We like this. It's mechanically full. It's got things in it, as you can see. Arms, a chest, a head, legs, a waist, a backpack, and various other parts, as all Gundams do, and Gunpla. Starts with the arms. Interesting. Gimmick point. The upper shoulder blocks have pull-out gimmicks that enable wide ranges of articulation. Well, isn't that exciting? Let's adjust that a wait, or is that just scrolled down a bit on my... you have to see my glorious bald scalp. Oh, I left my beverage in another room. I'm going to have to go and get that. How do I know which part that is? That just says GAT frame. That doesn't have a letter on it. Well, I need A to start with. A. And we need F and D, 1 and 2. F1 and 2, D1 and 2. Should have got this stuff ready beforehand, really. But I don't think ahead of time. That's C. That's D. Oh, D. I've got D. That's H. This is probably D. It is. Is this F? That's B. That's F1. Where's F2? Are you F2? Yes, right. I've got everything I need to build the arms, I think. I don't. I have everything I need to start building the arms. That's a difference. Where are the decals? Oh, I can see them. Oh, I can see them. Right, so yeah, I'm going to have to go and get my drink in a moment. I don't want my cup of tea to get cold. But let's do like the very first bit. Clippy clippy. Wait, why it say no clippy clippy on A's 23 and 24? Oh, I see, there's a little tab. It obviously wants you to not clip where the little tab is when you take it out, so you don't break the tab. I can also already see where I've done the pens. A bit that I missed in my infinite genius. So that's a thing that I'm going to have to fix. On top of all the tidying up of the parts anyway, but that's part and parcel in the first bit. Right, okay, so it's been some days. I haven't even got all my stuff out that I need. So disorganized. F15, F25. Yes, I'm currently dealing with just constant D1 15 16. Not good. That's 16. Put 15 on the left. I'll cut them both out with both sprues. All the parts together that I need to get going. Then I'm gonna trim it all up and whatnot ready. Then I'm gonna go get my drink that I forgot. Why didn't I put my head up here before? My head is in a much better place now. For the record, I mean the head as in the camera. My actual head, my mental head. God no, that's a can of worms. That's just a bucket of self-doubt, anxiety, and yeah, let's not get into that. Never mind. But people seem to enjoy these kind of building streams, by what I can tell. They have somewhat of a kind of, I don't know, people like watching them, so I'm really pleased with that. I don't have, so I'd say I don't have a tremendous amount to actually build at the minute, but that is realistically a lie. Because I mean, I've got this guy, which is going to take an unquestioned, undetermined amount of time. Don't want to cut that little nibbly knobbly off. And then after I've built this guy, I've got to prep and build the Chimera, which is a huge kit, and it's going to take me many time. Right, so I'm just going to leave this here a moment and go and get the drink that I forgot to go and bring in here with me, and then I'm good. Oh god, no, you haven't seen my ass. fixed, sorted. I have my drink. So, I think, well, I don't think, I know, I am a diagnosed autiste. But there are days when I think that I might have a touch of the ADHD as well. Because there's me just kind of sitting there, getting my... Hang on, let me examine, make sure I do these the right way around before I tangent a little. Yeah, so I was getting my tea ready that I forgot in the first place, and then I look down at the door and see that there is a package, and I'm like, ooh, package. I like getting new things. How? These are the wrong way round. No, they're not. They're the right way round. Wait, have I got the same? It's because I've got the same part twice. I'm good at this. I'm not. Anyway, yeah. I saw a package had arrived from the postman. And I'm like, right, cool, I'll pick it up. And in the time it took me to pick the package up, I completely forgot that I was meant to be, you know, getting my cup of tea and then getting back here to do this, because I was like, I need to open this thing and see what it is. It took me less than probably 45 seconds to forget that I'd started streaming. Realise I should have done this first, but I'm going to hopefully get away with doing it now. So yeah, little glimpse into the inner workings of this true professional of the anything world. I forgot what I was doing in less than 2 minutes. Come on. Why, you know. Locate, thank you. Now you. Shoulder. Yeah, I picked this guy up on online. A guy was clearing out a backlog. It was local as well, actually, to me. And basically was like, they're not going to have time to build this one. So I nabbed it, because I was like, that thing looks cool. Because my approach to Gunpla is, if it looks cool or weird, I probably want it. But obviously cool being subjective, because it's cool to me. What's cool to me may not be cool to somebody else, but you know what I mean. But I also like the weird and wonderful looking mobile suits. One of my... Where's my brown pen? Just need my brown pen. One of my, like, Gunpla goals is to get the... what's it called? The Hygog. Like, that one's on my bucket list of Gundams. Or mobile suits, should I say, because it isn't technically a Gundam, I think. It's a whatever. But there's also one I really like. It looks like a little elephant trunk. I've forgotten its name, but it's. Oh, I look at it and I'm just like, yes. Like you will become my son in a Gundam form. These parts really threw me off when I was doing the pens, because I couldn't quite figure out what went where, or what was going to be like visible when it was finished. So I kind of went ham in certain areas and apparently completely abandoned / missed others. So we're going to try and rectify that as we're going along. And like any bits where the stuff hasn't taken as well as I'd have liked, I'm just going to attempt to fill things in a bit more. I'm going to try my damnedest to make this one look good. It's always not a gamble as such, but like, you never know. Whoopsie. Always a good sound. That's what we like to hear when we're doing Gundam. Whoops. Okay, cool. Yep. We're doing good. Good start. I need H as well for this thing. Let's see. You H. Are you... Are you also, which is also, you also is her. Huh. Yeah, sweet. Oh, I see how it is. 5 and 6. There was more people watching when I wasn't talking. I joke, I kid. I don't mind. I still find it kind of, I don't know if humbling is the right word, or just generally impressive that people can actually come in here and listen to me just explode with verbal crap. F16. That's 9. That's why that one didn't look right. It's like, that piece looks way bigger on the instructions. Because it was the wrong one. That's the one I want. This guy's got some proper, like... what's the right word? Like... well, mechanical looking gubbins. Which I suppose for something that's called a full mechanics, you'd kind of hope it would look plenty mechanical-y-ish. But either way, so far I'm impressed is what I'm trying to get at. And I've built, like, some shoulders. It might have to come to a point where I need to trim up this eraser so it's more or less, in fact. Flaky. It flakes a lot. So, I don't paint my Gundams, really. I might use a little paint here and there for, like, a detail or a decal that needs doing, like on the Jim. He had a little yellow bit on his shield that I needed to do. So I painted that on. Sometimes I might like weather or wash a little. But I don't tend to paint, I tend to stick just with like lining and you know, like panel lining, paw pens, that kind of thing. They just don't have a specific way around, do they? No. In you go. Cool. Right, now I need these two of them. This guy's got some big shoulders. He'd make a paladin proud. So then I thought, you know, if I ever got like a correcting pen, like a color correcting pen, for like every color of plastic there is, I would be financially ruined. There must be so many different colors across just all the ranges. It's looking pretty good. And that is also looking pretty good. Excellent. Right. So we take one of these and we take one of these and we poke that onto there. And we jam this up in here. Okay, that fits actually better than it looks like it would. Because like it's only got, I've got pokey stick around here somewhere. They've only got these to like sit in, but they've got a nice little ridge so that you can push it down, then it clicks in to hold it better. Lock it in place. So there we go, some beautiful shoulders. Big. No, I don't paint. There's a, you probably missed this by like a minute. The Gundams I decorate with the pens and stuff. I don't paint Gunpla. I paint Warhammer, and I painted this guy, who is a Gunpla related figure that came with one of my kits. But no, this specific one, I've just added the details themselves. The main colours and everything are just part of the plastic that comes with it. E. U E. No, that's H again. Which one's E? Have I had E? U E? No, you're C. Really should move these around so I can see what I'm doing better. These are probably E. E? E. I've got an E. Is this the other E? I've got the other E. Right, I've got the E's. Okay, so let's just do my usual, grab a picture, try and remember to upload this onto Instagram, forget, and then not have content put on there, but it's fine. give it an old plug. The Instagram is on the channel description. It will be in the video description at some point, maybe, if I remember. Right, so I need 34, 35 off of both sprues. 34, 34, 34, 34, 35, they're here. So this is now going to be the start of the arms. So this is where we're going to start seeing what level of articulation and stuff this kit has. It's very well like color separated. There's a lot of natural detail just in the plastic and the way the colors are set apart from one another in the kit, which is nice. And the fact that, you know, like the inner gubbins and mechanical part is this like lighter grey, and then we've got the greens, the oranges, the darker greens. Hello. To be honest, I too am fairly new here. I've not been doing this long. It's very pretty. It's a very pretty kit so far. As I say, I'm looking forward to seeing how articulated it all is once it's finished. There's my pencil. Ugh. Because that's up there with my favourite things when I'm building is I really like posing them when I'm done. Most of my kits end up with a very similar pose, but I like fiddle with it for like an hour and be like, yeah, look at this pose, look at that pose. Apparently that's done. That's just on its own for now. Lots of E parts again. 3, 6 through 8. Three, 6, 7 and 8 are down, all down here. Excellent. But what I have a terrible habit of doing is picking myself up like the most awkward kits to build, or the most finicky, the fiddliest. Or if I'll see someone online saying like, "Ah, this kit's a nightmare," or "It's horrible to put together," or "It takes ages," or "There's so many awkward bits," I'm like, "I want to do it. Give it to me. Let me try it." And then like get really angry because I in fact would agree with all of the people on the internet of how stupid it is to put together. This one, so far, for the decorating side of things at least, has been very nice. It's easy to get the pens and stuff poured on. It was easy to do the pour sections. It's been easy to clean up. But say anyone that's watched any amount of one of these streams before will have heard me mention the project that I've been working on, which is a video of a build. I don't want to say any more because I was proud of like the whole creation process. It's just getting the video made up has been an absolute nightmare. But yeah, I built a Gundam. I recorded building said Gundam. And then which way around is that? That's like that. That way. I recorded building said Gundam extensively, like all of it. There was something like there were many hours of raw footage, which I've then been working on turning into a video, a special little video, and it's been an absolute nightmare. So I kind of dip in, do like 30-40 minutes of editing on it, cry a little bit, and then abandon it for a while. Yep, that's the right way round. Excellent. Yes, it does. Age definitely makes a difference with the kits. I've built one old, and I mean old, suit. Wrong way around. That was from the 80s, and oh, that was horrible. Like, just horrible to build. Right, so we've got those, Where do those go? Okay, they go in there in a minute. So these are inner arm sections. I realise you might notice I poured on one side, I'm not on the other, because it's going to get covered up. I didn't actually need to colour that part in, and I realised it as I was going along that bit wasn't needed to be done. A19, 19, 19, 19, 19. But yeah, I think it's as they like pump out more kits and they refine like the technology for making them and the designs, it gets more and more. The quality increases, and how awkward the builds are tends to decrease. There are exceptions to the rule, as there are with anything, I think. That's not H. This is. Yes. Yeah, there's always going to be exceptions to the rule with that kind of thing. I also find that the most awkward kits to build tend to be high grade. When you get a really faffy one, it's usually a harder to acquire high grade can be an absolute nightmare. Third-party kits as well tend to, unfortunately, be less pleasant to assemble, and I can say that from first-hand experience of the two that I've done that weren't Bandai kits, and now I've done two. I don't think I'm going to do any more third-party ones, as they were not fun. They're in fact very much the antithesis of fun. I think one of them I streamed the entire build on Twitch. That go all the way down or just to there? That goes all the way down. So that should then be all bendy arm joint. Yep, excellent. Bendy arm joint. That's what I like to see, bendy arm. Let's slot the other one of those on. That's the wrong way round. Oh no, come out, thank you. Big out, big out. Yep, that's right. And then B. It's another sprue that I need. It's got warm in here. Let's put the fan on. B. You B? No, you're not B. Wait, have I had B out already? No. Who is where B? B. B. B is green. It's probably these two then. Right. 11. No. Yeah, I found the bound dock was like 90% a nice little build, and then 10% like hair pulling out annoying. I just realised I moved my lamp at the start so I could, so it didn't reflect off of the manual, and I haven't moved it back since. I needed 12 first. Goodbye. Piece of plastic went on an adventure. Okay, so if we've got the arm that way, that goes on with the lower part pointing out like that. Same on this side. Then we take these with that bit pointing out that way. Is that right? That doesn't look right. It must be right. It's what the instructions say, so it's probably right. Ugh. Oh yeah. Yep. That's nice. I like how much movement you have. Okay, so we have those parts, we have these parts. So now we go into the individual. Oh no, my tea! It's going to be cold. I picked it up like 35 minutes ago. No! Excuse me while I stir and drink. This is probably not the most appealing thing, but if I don't drink, I'll die. Being British, this is the only drink there actually is. It's tea featuring my favourite Marvel boy. Ah, right, okay. I've drunk it. But at what cost? B214. So this is now going to be specifically the right arm. So that uses E1. Were you E? No, you were C. Oh, this is E1, isn't it? The sprue was very, I don't know if you can really see it, but it was quite badly bent. Like when I opened it up. It shouldn't have affected any of the inner gubbins and the parts themselves, but it didn't sit very well in the box. Alright, it's E42, E40, and E32, which is the tiny little thumb which I apparently forgot to mark. could take care of that in a moment, though. That's not too much of a problem. Sometimes I don't know why I bother with the erasers. Sometimes I can get like some of this stuff off just with my fingers, which makes me wonder what kind of caustic hell is on my fingers. God, I overshare. Well, I think it just rubs off anyway, because it never, like... I don't think the... nearly dropped... Well, I did drop that. I don't think when you use the pens and such, like, that ever, like, fully cures. The whole point is to get it in two sections where it's not going to get, like, rubbed out, and a lot of people top coat things as well to finish them off. But I'm going to give this guy some more detail around his knuckles. His finger. Or this is his thumb, to be specific. You're not really going to see that all that well, to be honest, because I don't have the best cameras and things. Right, so we take that bit, we take this bit, we stick this bit in this bit, and that makes a curled fist, which I can now hold the bottom of in order to tidy this bit up and improve the detailing on the hand. So I feel like it needs a bit more. I don't think the pen's really got in there very well. See, all the different markers and stuff, they have their pros and cons. Me being a shaking mess has its just cons. Right, let's get the thumb on the correct way round. Actually, I can't not get it on the correct way round if I'm... because it just drops in. And then the top of the hand goes on over it. So there we have a hand with a posable thumb, which will in fact attach to one of the arms, like that, giving me a nice range of motion on the wrist. Plenty of turn. Very nice. Like it. I need C19. You C1? You are. 9. That's not C19. That's 6. Whoops. You go down there. Try not to lose it. This is 9. It's a little thing I've noticed with kits. I don't think I've seen... No, it's a lie. I will have seen a few that do it, but they tend to kind of muddle up where what is in terms of instructions, if that makes sense. Like you might get, like this one specifically tells you to do the shoulders, then the arms, and then so on and so forth. Like other ones might start with the legs, or other ones will start with the head, other ones will start with the body. Never the accessories though, because that would be a bit weird. Okay, I need B215. Then I need E1 again. 41 and 43. And the other thumb is on the other sprue. It's on the E2 sprue. E232. Thumb. There it is. Does anyone pronounce the B in thumb? Thumb. These Gundams are more evolved than cats. They have opposable thumbs. Quote me on that. God, I'm tired. We've had a weird, like, resurgence of heat for the last week. And anyone that knows, like, English weather will know that while our summers are not as hot as a lot of other summers, they're hotter than other summers. I'm aware that sounds really, like, asinine, but yeah, when our country gets hot, it apparently just takes like days to cool down again when the weather drops, because just everything traps heat. Like, it's nearly October, and I can't, even with windows open, get my flat below 20 degrees during the day. I don't want that. I'm a pasty little man who does not appreciate heat at the best of times. So when summer finally kind of started to give up the ghost and bugger off, I was like, yes! I just realised I put that on the wrong way around. Like, finally, the sweet embrace of autumn, my favourite time of year. And then, like, summer just went, nah, hold my beer for a minute. I'm coming back. And it's been like 23, 24 degrees. Which, again, to a lot of people probably doesn't sound like a lot, but when you can't, like, escape it, it's hideous. C18. That's the other little green guy. Where did I put that? I had that sprue a minute ago. There it is. Yeah, no. That could have ended with blood. Very nearly just stabbed myself in the groin with a pair of clippers. God, I wonder how many views that'd get. No, I reckon YouTube would take it down. Man accidentally stabs himself in crotch on live stream. Yep, that looks good to me. Ah, yes, nice little click. I like it when we get a click. Excellent. Right, arms. Handsome. Buff. Strong boy. Take a photograph of his big, strong arms. A little bit concerned that I just got a message from a friend that was a photograph with the caption bath time. So yeah, arms done, shoulders done. Not even an hour, not even an hour in. We're busting. E1, 13, 14, 16. Oh god, that looks awkward. Okay. Is that all E1? No, that's E2 as well. Let's get the E2. 13, 14, 16. Is that a bit that's meant to clip off? Yeah. 13, 14, 16. Then we want E1, 13, 14, 16, and E1, 12. Let's get 12. 12's here. This big chunky piece. Tickling my nose. Excuse me. Scratch my nose. It's here. I feel like it's another bit that I missed when I was detailing or thought, oh, it's probably never going to see the light of day. So I ignored it or forgot it. Either are entirely possible with me. Don't know why I got a sanding stick for that. Like I'm a knife trimming up guy. But I think most of this guy's body like this. I think the E sections, which are the inner inner parts. Oh, pity laugh, please. A lot of the inner stuff's going to get covered up, so you're not going to see a tremendous amount of detail. So if I have missed some bits, and like when I can give it a cursory glance over towards the end, or as I'm going along, and like fill any gaps in. But if I do miss the odd bit here and there, I don't think it's going to be tremendously noticeable. Hopefully, tremendously noticeable. Right, so we want that there. That's this side. So we take the peg bit, then we take the doubler, we turn the doubler, and then we jam it into the peg bit. Then we stick that in there. Why? Then we hold on a second, something's not right here. Headed bit big one up. Ah, I see what I've done wrong. Yep. Need to hopefully just easily prise this apart. That needs to be that way round. Then on like that, and that drops into there. Then the other side, that way, that into there, like that. Make sure that's turned and then sticking out the correct direction, so I can drop it in here. Cool. There we go. So that's the upper chest, shoulders, like where the arms will join onto the body section. D 1, 6 and 7. Big parts. And this is where I'm saying where I think some of the bits that I thought I'd missed may come into thingy, like get squirreled away. But there's some bits that I might need to do that I don't think I've done, which with some detail are going to look very nice. So let's see how we get along here first. I think that eraser's got a lot of life left in it on my pencil. To be honest, I don't know if this one's got a lot of life left in it until I can cut it in half. My little brush. I don't want to get out the buds, because that always ends up with me rubbing off more than I want to. I think that'll be alright. Goes onto his back. That goes onto his front. Okay, nice. I'm gonna get my little goodbye pen lid. Marker out. I'm going to run it along these lines because I'll give a nice bit of detailing, and that was definitely one I missed. Same here. Make sure I get on all that because those are some nice sharp edges that can do with detail. I want to get as much of it in as I can, where I can. Okay. Yeah, there were definitely several bits here I missed quite impressively. There we go, I think I got the most of it there. So, yes. Next we need a 6, 10 and 12. There's 12. This is where he's going to get some nice looking extra details in his body. This is going to add some cool chunks. 6. 6, yep. Knife there. And this one, come on, I forget. Little burr of plastic. The burn of my existence. Something like that. How does that work? Like that? That can't be right. Am I looking at this wrong? Yes, I was looking at it wrong. It's higher up than I thought. There we go. Little brown pen, so I can get these gubbins here. underneath that one, just with a little bit, because it's a sharp edge. That didn't work quite as I wanted it to there, but that's fine. Right, A7. And then G29. Are you G? Are you G? You're G. 9. There it is. Get some red in this now. Oh, did I really just push my glasses up, slip, and then smudge them? Ugh. So I hadn't put any lining on here with the paw pens because I wasn't sure how much it was going to be seen. I kind of wished I did a bit more to it now. Ooh, no you don't. Get in. What? Why? Okay, this is proving incredibly awkward to slot into place. It's the right way up, isn't it? Yeah. This should be really easy to slot into place. But it isn't. Nope, that's not right still. What is going on here? Why are you slipping off of that? Nope. There we go. That was really awkward to get where I wanted it. C17. Well, I say where I wanted it, where it needed to be, more specifically. There we go. Oh, I like that lighter part. It's a nice colour. This goes onto his frontal front in a most front-like manner. That's a cool body. That's cool torso. I like your torso, sir. Where am I? E's 1 and 2, 15. 11, 10, 15. That's 15. And D1, 4 and 5. D. Which one was D again? Was this D? No, that's H. That's C. That's also H. That's B. That's F. That's D. 4 and 5. It's these flaps. Four on the left, so I know it's the right one. Okay, let's see how these sit before I worry about adding any more. Go in the back. That way? They only go the one way up. Well, that's in now. Didn't want to come back out again, so I'm not gonna argue with it. It was the taller way up. Did I get the? Yeah, I did do it the right way. Anyway. Don't know if that might be a little bit excessive on the line round there, but I think it looks cool, so it stays. So this one's number 4. Please don't roll off the thing, knife. Did it, but down like that. Oh, I see. It fills in the gap in the shoulder. Okay, cool. Yeah. And sits over it like that. Builds up the shoulder section a bit more. Right, B16. That's B2. This is B1. Unfortunately, see where I've completely missed with the pens. I might have to try it with that one actually. It's going to be the closest one to that colour because I really don't want to. I don't like using the paw pens after the fact. Like once I've started cutting stuff out, because I've heard, I don't know how much truth there is in it, but I've heard that it can deteriorate the quality of the plastic, and I'm like, I'm not here for that. E119. 1819. It can make it brittle, supposedly. C2 1516. Is this one C2? No, that's H1. Is this one C2? No, that's C1. Is this one C2? No, that's H2. Where's C2? Oh wait, C2's grey. Okay, why is C2? Anyway, 1516. 16. Put this together, tidy it up afterwards, I think. It's going to be the easiest. Okay. Yeah, I just literally like tap it, like tap the pen to get the stuff flowing. And then that's it. Yeah, I don't use a lot. Oh, I thought that was going to end up with blood. It didn't. Like, I know you're not supposed to go near, like, what do they call it? The stuff like polycaps. Apparently, polycaps like really don't like that. But I'm guessing that's because they're like a rubber as opposed to just plastic. This is just like stuff that I've heard online or read online, and I'm like, I don't really want to risk it because, you know, these things aren't cheap. Yes, yeah, because I think it says on the normally says on the sprues themselves as well if it's ABS plastic, if I remember rightly. How does how how does that even? Is that the wrong way up? That's the wrong way up. Oh no, that's the wrong way up. Here, need you to come apart. Because it's one set way round. I need that to come apart. Need to get a part separator. Where's that? This might not break. Oh, I don't trust this. I don't like it. Let me get my raccoon fingers in here. There we go. Get this one out. So we can flip it round. There we go. All is now right with this. There we go. That's better. Oh, damn. I've heard it's to do with heat as well. Like, if you're in somewhere that's got, like, a good airflow and is fairly warm, it's less likely to deteriorate because it evaporates. Like, is it like the alcohol content in it or whatever it is that makes it thin evaporates quicker and just leaves the pigment. Apparently. Again, don't know the truth in that. Right, let's get a picture of that body. Now it's done. Nope. It just cropped up on my phone. Thank you, Digital Fanboy, for subscribing. It is much appreciated. Nothing else I need to worry about there at the moment. Head. Was this G again? Yeah. G210. Tiny pieces. Tiny pieces. My least favorite thing to deal with. Small. Stay. D114. D1 is this one. 14 up here. Yeah, so I'm guessing if I needed to do it, then really while the bits are apart, I can do it, like, maybe sit it on a windowsill for a few minutes to help it evaporate, and then carry on, and it should be fine. It's just, I don't know if I want to risk it. I'm gonna pick up. I plan on picking up, because I've been picking up basically all of the slots onto there. I have been picking up all the entry grade kits just because I kind of like some of them. So if a test needs to be done, I might end up doing it on that. I1. I didn't even realise there was. Ah, right, okay. Ha! I like it. I. It's literally the eyes. And I also need C210. I've also heard that apparently the this thing, like this, the remover, is also a thing for, like, if you're not careful and it gets into joints and stuff, can be a problem. What are the decals? Let's get my broken anti-static tweezers. I had them earlier. How'd you get under there? Okay. I just, if I'm doing it, like, when they're on the sprues and I'm cleaning stuff up, I rub that pen thing on, like, a cotton bud, Q-tip, whatever you call them. And just do it like that. Oh, a little bit wonky there. Come on. You might have a slightly wonky eyeball, but I think it's good. It's my little pokey pokey. Gently tease it further down, then roll it on. That looks better. I think that's going to be passable at the very least. Let's clean this up. Because I've recently been seeing people using very similar. I have now started doing that. I did that on the command gym. I scored the lines down a lot of the leg plates where the stuff doesn't flow very well. Like the finished effect was really good. The problem is I suffer from a lot of issues with shaking and stuff, and like, especially if I'm really tense. So when I was kind of trying to score the lines, I was sometimes, like, scoring too far because I'd slip. Also, probably wasn't really using the right tool for it. I heard a guy online recommend a very specific, like, like thin grade chisel or some such. Couldn't remember what he called it, and haven't been able to find the video since to try and like find what the tool specifically is. But I was using quite a flimsy like point on a blade. Yeah, so I was doing it on a high grade. I was doing it on a high grade, and yeah, like I say, it definitely improved the flow, but I just didn't have. I don't think I've got the right tool for it, because I was just using a slightly thicker, shorter kind of craft blade. But I don't think it was really the right kind of point, and it also just still wasn't strong enough. There we go. Nice bit of head there. That can be taken the wrong way. Ignore it. C1. Oh, 1. Yeah, C11, B13. Ah, 3. Do you mean Warhammer? Warframe's a video game. Uh, well, a lot of ways. Warhammer, like the kits for one. Hang on, let me get the right piece here out first. None of it's coloured, none of it's painted. It's all unpainted plastic, obviously. Uh, you have to glue everything together. Oh well, some of the newer stuff has snap fit kits, to be fair, but not a lot contains snap fit kits yet. Does that go to 2 onto the end there? That slot's on there. Let's get that bit in. I'd say Warhammer is a much. It's almost weird to say, but it's a less niche, I'd say, than Gunpla, because there's so many different settings in like the universe. Because the basic like Warhammer universe, you have like the fantasy version, you have the futuristic version, and each one has all its different armies because it's a war game at heart, like a tabletop game at heart. So it has different armies and such like. So there's a very wide variety that can appeal to a lot of different people. You then have the old world, or I believe it's called. No, it's not. It's called Age of Sigmar, which is like swords and sorcery, fantasy style stuff. But they also have a bunch of smaller scale specialist games, I believe they call them. And they are the ones that release like the Lord of the Rings official miniatures and stuff. So there's a huge, ridiculously huge variety of parts. Because it's all unbuilt and unpainted, I'd say that there is more customization in Warhammer than there is in Gunpla. It's not as accessible in terms of being able to do it. In terms of being able to get hold of it, it's way more accessible. I'd say there's a lot more, especially at least where I am. There are 3 or 4 places in my local city that sell Warhammer products. There is like that where I can physically walk into the store and buy product. There are none for Gunpla, so it's definitely easier to get hold of. It's arguably more expensive. It's more customizable with the kits. You can either go straight out the box, build the stuff, follow a painting guide, and that's that. or you can like get different kits, kit bash stuff, which like you can do with Gundams, and make big conversion kit set model things, whatever you want to call it. I think it's more. I'd say it's more expensive, or it can be a bigger money sink. But they're two totally. I'd say they're two completely different creatures. Gunpla is like it's there for the its kind of community and everything, and its enjoyment is in the building, and it can be incredibly simple, like straight out of the box. Build a kit, done. Obviously, you can make it far more complicated than that if you want, but it's more of a collector's hobby where you get your kits, you put them on display. Warhammer is more of, I'd say it's got a lot. It's got so many more aspects to it that it's really hard to kind of pin one thing. Because I myself am a collector and a painter. Not a very good painter, but I'm a painter. Whereas one of my closest friends is more of a war gamer, so they play more. They're more interested in getting the models painted up like tabletop ready and doing the skirmish battles or whatever. I think while it is still like a collector's thing, is one of the big aspects of Warhammer. I think the playing of Warhammer is more of a, at least in my opinion and experience, the playing of Warhammer is its biggest element. It's designed to be a game played by people. On a tabletop and whatever, whereas it's more, I'd say it's more of a social hobby, I think might be the right word. I'd say Gunpla, while you can easily share Gunpla related stuff with people, and has a community of people that share their builds and kits and stuff. Kind of, I find a lot of the time you do it on your own. Like I know obviously I'm here streaming it now, so it kind of defeats the issue to a degree. But like Gunpla, you can kind of just sit and do on your own. You can paint Warhammer on your own, but I think it's geared to be more like, it's almost as though it's kind of designed to be more like D&D in a way. It's designed to be a kind of tabletop like role playing game. It's a game. I think that's really, I think it really seems to come down to it. It is a game first, and then like a collector's hobby second. Whereas Gunpla is way more of a collector's hobby. I like the fact with Gunpla that you can, like when you're done with your kits, you've got a lot of options as to posing and resetting stuff, and you can do different things with them there. Warhammer, once it's done, it's done. You can't really do anything with a kit once you put it together and painted it, unless you fancy butchering like potentially hundreds of pounds worth of plastic for the sake of like redoing something. It's much more of a static thing once it's complete, like the models. That was that went in like 56 different directions. Right. But I think yeah, I'd say it's easier. It's probably easier to get into Warhammer, but arguably the levels of customization, it's more accessible to get into Warhammer, but it's easier to get into Gunpla. but like they're two very different animals that came from like literal opposite sides of the planet. Because like Gunpla obviously being a Japanese thing, and Warhammer and that kind of wargaming side of things came from the UK. Back in the 80s. Obviously, there are a lot of people I know that like various aspects of Warhammer and tabletop wargaming that are very much into the Gunpla as well. Because they almost find a few of the people that I've spoken to in the past say that they find like doing Gunpla stuff like relaxing. Like it's almost like their chill thing to do. Like almost like Warhammer, it's a job, but it's an enjoyable one sort of thing. And then to chill out, they'll build a Gundam. I should put these ones in first, really. Yep, in you go. I don't think personally that's like the case for me. I enjoy them both for their own things. I think that's the head done. Head. Uh-oh. I think I can fix this still. I've just realised I haven't put his neck in. E1 17 18. It doesn't have a head yet. Well, he doesn't have a neck yet. I can't put his head on without his neck. Just clip them out quick. That was silly. I'd completely skipped that, like glanced over that step. Right, so if that's that way round, the nub points at the back. So that would slot on like that. Gotcha. There we go. Minor cock up. Past. Whoops. Always like it when you hear whoops. These things are going well. It's a bit wonky, but that'll be fine. Okay, so head goes on to head joint to join to the body. Arm go here. Arm go here. I feel like they should have gone on first. Get on. Go on. Click. Thank you. Not the biggest fan of how that sits either, if I'm honest. No, that can't be right. That must have... worked its way loose. Submate right here. Ooh! It fell off. How did that happen? How the heck did that happen? Okay, need to be careful with that then. Okay, it's... Why is that just pulling straight out? That's... doesn't seem right at all. That just can tug straight out. Surely that should click in and be in. Let's just pop it in place and ignore it and hope it gets better. That's how we deal with most things in life. We ignore them and hope they get better. There we go, that one went on way easier. Oh, it's a Calamity! Yep. That boy has got some big shoulders. Photograph. Okay, there we go. So far, so good for the most part. So, except for that little bit with the arms there, that seemed a bit iffy. But I'm guessing that was just me. Can I do it with the other arm? There's a lot more play with that one than there is with this one. That one's just pulling out. Yeah, something isn't right here. Because this arm's actually moving like it's supposed to, like the hinge section. This one's just getting stuck. That's meant to rotate, and it's not. It's not meant to have a lot of rotation in it, but it should have a little bit. Just give it a little tug to kind of... Oh, those suck and all. It's better. I think it just needed freeing up a little bit. Nope, that's wobbly. Pokey pokey. It's better. Right. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of how loose these seem to be. But I think once it's fully assembled and like I'm posing it and not like leaning on the sections as much, it probably won't be as bad. See a little bit I need to fill in there. Can't really see that, but that's fine. Just wanted to get it done, get it out of the way. There we go. Right. No, it's going okay though. The groin axis swings down, maintaining the mobile suit's proportions between poses. Cool. Thank you for telling me about my Gundam's groin. So what have we got? Legs, waist unit, assembly, backpack, weapons. Alright then, we've got to do 2 lots of all this for the legs. So we want E5, 6, 7 off both, 25 through 7 both sprues. Doing this is very much making me want to build more on Gundam Breaker. I like to build hideous amalgamations of like mobile suits that probably shouldn't go together. I'm just like, yes, what if I put this thing's arms on this thing's body with this thing's legs? And I'm like, I have made Frankenstein, but a Gundam. It's very satisfying. I've merged the high GOG with a gun tank to make a high tank. And it looks ridiculous. Like I've merged the full armor Thunderbolt with the Psycho Zaku. I think I took the Psychomu, which is like a floating flying one, and stuck parts of the Castria on it. And like I look at them and I'm like, these things are actually hideous. And then I paint them and they look less hideous. Or they look just as hideous, but they look more uniformly hideous. Right, so we take one of these, that way up, take one of these, take this, that's like that, that goes in there. No? Yes? Maybe? Yeah. No, that's not right. That can't be right. That doesn't look right. It was that way round, that's why. Even then, that's not very... Is it on the top one or is it on the middle one? So that looks like it's showing the top one. That can't be the top one. I've got that the right way up, haven't I? No, that would be why it's the wrong way round. There we go. There we go. Right way round, and all my problems are solved. Who'd have thought that assembling something correctly would be the correct way to assemble something? Mad. Alright, let's do the next one. Da-da, da-da, in like that, on like that. There we go. So that's the knee joint there. For the two legs. Right, so B9 and 10 both sprues. Whoops. Keep forgetting that to like I get into a habit once I'm like an hour or so in, like an hour and a half in, where I kind of forget to have the to clip the stuff kind of on camera. 28E2 of. Move your torso out of the way a little bit, my dude. My laser Susans moved around as I've been going along. Don't know what that accent was. Bad. Where are all the clip marks for this piece? Really struggling to find them. That's just because I clipped it out so well. Just so good. Or something. Right, so if we take this one and we jam in one of these, then we take this one and we jam in one of these. Where does this go? Okay, that doesn't join on yet. Fine. Jumping ahead of myself, like, as to thinking where the parts go. This is just the early stage of leg. Okay, I need the 8s off of the 2B frames. This is 8. A good clip is a very satisfying noise. When they bite through just right. Like, yes. Is that an intentional line or is that a little mold line there? I think that might be a little mold line there. I want to get rid of it. There it was, ever so slightly a mold line. Means there might be one on this one as well. There is. To be honest, I can probably get that one off just like, yeah. We could. Okie-dokie, in you go. Then we need A18 twice. Yeah, 18 and A9. 2 18s and 2 9s. Getting lots of parts for legs. So depending on how time goes, the goal here, obviously the end goal is to get the whole thing finished, but I don't know if I'm going to have enough time. I don't want to rush it because I don't want to then like mess anything up or damage anything. So we're just at the minute kind of pushing to get at the very least the suit done. And then if I have to stop, if I have to call it, then at least he'll be in like a standing pose sort of thing. And then it kind of then just depends on time outside of this as to whether I can finish it on another stream, whether it's worth finishing it on another stream if there isn't a huge amount left sort of thing. And also other stuff that I want to kind of do, because I've got other started stream stuff that I kind of want to continue, and yeah, it's all over the place. So we're just going to have to kind of play it by ear a little bit. Slide in, thank you. You go on there, that holds them in place. Appreciate it though, you know, I appreciate people just like, yeah, I appreciate you dropping in and kind of giving us a watch, joining in, anything like that. It's nice. I've said it before. I really like to be able to like share the things I like to do with either other people that may not have seen it before or kind of old hands. Right, I need the 7s off of the 2B frames. Ow. I get a stiff neck as well. It's another part of age showing me up. Hopefully a day will come where I can kind of potentially afford the slightly higher definition, better way of setting up the cameras and stuff. So like the overall quality is a bit higher. Cause like I assume it's fine. Like I mean, like it must be at the very least watchable. But one of my biggest criticisms, problems with myself is I want to try, regardless of whether I can or not, making whatever I'm doing the best possible. And if it feels like it's not that, I get a little kind of critical of myself for not doing better. I know it shouldn't matter, but it's just a thing. Like I think if you feel like something's, using an old phrase, if something's worth doing, it's worth doing well. And like I know I'm doing this as best as I can, but I still would want to kind of improve how like what I make is presented or whatever. I want it to look as good as possible. If people are dropping in for 1, 2, 3 hours, or even more sometimes, you know, I want them to be able to. I don't want anything to be like an eyesore or whatever. That's why I also like happily welcome anyone that wants to, like, if anyone's got constructive criticism, things like that, like I'm like, yeah, cool, just don't make me cry, don't be mean. And I'm fine with it. I'll accept your constructive criticism providing it's positive. If you've got anything negative to say, don't say it at all. I'll be sad. Is it not coming through? Oh no. There is background music. It's been playing since I start, but apparently my capture software's removed the desktop audio from the section, from the scene. Damn it! So yes, there has been a royalty-free playlist playing this entire time I've been here today, but apparently it's just decided that it's not going to capture it. Let's see if I can fix that now. I don't know if that's working. So I don't want it to come through loud, because while it says it's a royalty-free playlist, the last time it was on, it got flagged for being copywritten. And while I'm not making anything off of these videos at all, and I don't really care about that, I don't like the idea of it flagging me when it doesn't need to. Right. Okay, I'll drop that just a tiny bit more. See how we do with that. Hopefully that's now coming through to some degree. And hopefully YouTube won't tell me off for it, even though it's supposedly royalty free. And when it flagged it for not being royalty free, I removed the songs it reckoned were not royalty free. Anyway. So yeah, that's always been there. I don't know. I'm gonna have to now go, because I don't watch the streams back, because I don't like looking at my own face and hearing me speak. And normally, if I've got the feed up like I have here, it's muted, so I can't hear anything, because I don't want to hear myself twice. So I don't know, but I'm going to have to get into a habit now of either checking OBS before I start, or actually physically putting the stream up for the first few minutes and making sure it's playing through. But yeah, this is literally like a curated royalty-free playlist. I know some of it's covers, but you can get royalty-free covers of music. So, but yeah, YouTube didn't like it the first time I actually used it. They were like, this song is copywritten by this person, and when I googled the person it's supposedly copywritten by, I could find nothing. Like, they just didn't exist, according to Google at least. So I don't know if it's just like an automatic flagging thing that does it, or what. But it also flagged up the because I've been streaming Supermarket Simulator here and there, and they've recently added speakers that you can put in your shop with like supermarket background music, which I thought was a fantastic idea for the game, because it's what the game was missing, music. And yeah, I put my speakers in my store and put it all together and had it playing while I was streaming, and YouTube was like, "Ah, no, generic supermarket music is copywritten by, again, thing I've never heard of." But supposedly, I don't know how much truth there is to it, there are literally just things that automatically flag stuff for copyright. They're like programs. They just pick things up that may or may not be copywritten and just flag them. And I'm like, that's bull, to be honest. Right, so that's got to go on, but is the hole out or in? The hole is at the back. So it goes like that, then tilts. There we go. But yeah, I'll have to mess around with it a bit, see what YouTube says after this stream, either adjust the volumes or whatever to suit, or curate the playlist a bit more. But hopefully we're okay now. And we actually have background noise. I need D. 9 and 10. That's B, not D. Could do. I don't know if that's a thing I can actually do, because this is just playing through Spoofy at the minute. Because it's the easiest way for me to have any sort of background sound. D, 1 and 2. There isn't a D2. Oh, yes, there is. But yeah, that's not a bad call. I'll try that. If there's a setting, I'm guessing there probably is in Spotify for adjusting playback. To be fair, I may not even need to do it that much. If it has a slider, I might just be able to do like 1.1 times. But as I say, it shouldn't be an issue anyway, because like it's a curated playlist by a guy who said, you know, this is royalty-free music that I've made this playlist. You know, if anyone has anything, to like contact the guy and he'll look into it. But like, there shouldn't be any problems. It's supposed to be a royalty-free playlist. Like, it's all either just music that you can get that like people have made for royalty-free purposes and put on Spotify, or it's covers that are royalty-free covers. As I say, I personally think it's partially not necessarily YouTube themselves, but probably some sort of third-party crap, basically, that's ruining it for everyone else. But we'll see. So I don't mind, again, if it flags it, it flags it, and I have to do something, I'll have to do it. I'd rather know than not. It's just a matter, I think the principle of it shouldn't be doing it is the thing that annoys me. Especially like, I wouldn't even, like, I know I'm making content, but I don't necessarily like call myself a content creator as such, because I'm mostly doing this just for fun. But like, why potentially penalize like people that are just sharing something for the sake of sharing it, like, or smaller content creators, because, you know, it could potentially harm them if they're actually trying to make something of it. I don't know, it bugs me, just bugs me. Like, if I was legitimately somehow raking in cash from ad revenue or whatever from doing all this, then I totally understand if there was copywritten music, if something was to come up. But I'm not. I'm a guy with, you know, that's just sharing Gumper builds on the internet. to kind of while away some of the time that he spends wallowing in his existence. Ugh, don't. Let's not get deep. But yeah, stuff like that bugs me. There's no need for it. Just let the little guy have his fun, sort of thing. That's that rant over anyway. You won't hear. I'll shut up about it now. I would say, on a slightly different element, I'd like it if I could just like actually kind of play my music while I'm doing it, and there not be an issue. Because like I have a cool little, or at least I think it's cool, set of playlists of like the genres of music I like, and you know I like the I'd like the idea that you could like have like a music playlist stream where you could just like jam out to music with other like-minded, in my case, metalheads. But I don't think that'll ever be a thing, because, and it's not the musicians, excuse me, either. It's the record labels would have a baby, I think, in pure rage. They just have a rage child because, you know, they're not making money off of it. Feet. Goes like that. But no, I like the idea of the play speed. I will definitely look into that, probably in between this stream and the next build stream. I don't know. I learned a little bit of bass and drums when I was in college, and I've been told that I can't do it so much anymore now because I get out of breath when I even think about it. But again, this is one of them things where it sounds like I'm like tooting my own horn, and I hate doing that. But I can death growl really, apparently well, according to various people that have heard it. And they're like, dude, you should be in like a heavy metal band. And I'm like, that's cool and all, but I have crippling social anxiety, agoraphobia, and like I pass out when it gets too hot. I don't think I'd be very good as a front man of a band or whatever. So now it's mostly just me. You like, if you pull up alongside me on like a motorway or something. Not that I'm very rarely on a motorway. There's a 90% chance I'll either be badly clean singing along to something like Queen or Ghost, or I'll have a monomath or some other like Swedish melodic death band playing, and there'll just be me sitting there like just fucking losing my mind because I don't like traffic. But I have like mad respect for musicians in general. Like even oh god, what did I just do there? Even if you're like just a casual kind of player, or like a touring band kind of person, like that kind of lifestyle, people might think it's glamorous, but I feel like it's probably incredibly difficult. Oh, the band that's famous for having like songs that can last through the night because they're so long. I've never been big into Dream Theater myself. I've got a couple of friends who've seen them live and love them. They're not my kind of, in terms of subgenres, they're not my cup of tea. I can respect what they do, but just they're not for me. But to be honest, I wasn't really even into, like, growing up. My parents were like big into Queen and Rolling Stones, like new wave stuff, new wave rock and pop, bit of punk, maybe a little bit of Iron Maiden and stuff here and there, but they were mostly like classic rock. Then when I got into, when I first started college, it was, what, 13 and 11. I was more, like late school, early college, I was into pop punk. It was like Blink-182, Green Day especially. Like, even as much as I love heavy metal music, Green Day will probably always be my favourite band. It was stuff like that that I really listened to a lot of. The Offspring. Got into college, as I say, and that grew into like the emo sort of thing, because I was the literal target audience for My Chemical Romance when Welcome to the Black Parade came out. Yeah. I had the jacket, I had the works when that album came out, and like all my friends were like, we were the emo group. We were the ones that would hang out and be miserable and angsty. Like, we were proper stereotypical, almost, emos of the day. And then that kind of, when I got onto college, was when I first sort of started dating. I met someone who was big into metal music, and while I'd dabbled in Iron Maiden, like I'd been an Iron Maiden fan for a long time actually, like because they were kind of classic. They introduced me to some slightly newer at the time, like British and American heavy metal bands. And then from there I learned that like one of my closest friends in college was big into some of the German metal scene, and they introduced me to some of that, and it kind of, for me, that's where that grew from. And while I'll always have a soft spot for stuff like Green Day and My Chemical Romance, and not so much Paramore these days, because I think Hayley Williams is a bit of a sellout. That's my take there. I like some of their early music, but I can kind of give or take the group themselves now. Yeah, it's mostly metal for me these days. Metal music with a hefty splash of pop punk. Like, I have two of my other Spotify playlists. One of them is just my favorite Green Day songs, and it's like 40 tracks long. And then a bit of everything pop punk wise. Like, that'll include, but that's got like early Paramore and stuff on it. I think it's when they did the collab, or whatever you'd call it, for the Twilight movie. I was like, oh no! That personally for me was like the break point for my enjoyment of Paramore as a band. And my partner at the time absolutely loved like that song that came out with that film and everything. And I'm just like, I can't. You've sullied my enjoyment with your. It felt like a sellout kind of situation. But like, if that was the direction they were going in, that was the choice they made. Like, whatever. I'm not gonna. No, I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna discredit them for it, because I didn't like the choice personally. But like, that's the way they decided to make their money. That's the way they decided to make their money. There we go. That's that foot nicely lined up. A couple of little bits in there I'd like to try, and might have to buy another small panel liner soon, because – ink's lasting really well on this one, but the nib's starting to deteriorate a bit. I don't really know if there's a way to kind of repoint a panel liner, especially one that's got such a fine nib. And this is like a 3mm liner, so it's pretty small. Guarantee if any song's going to get hit, it'll be something like this one, even though it's played before, and again, since it hasn't changed, like it hasn't been hit, but it might if it has played. It is currently 3 PM, just about. Right, so foot goes into foot hole, other foot goes into other foot hole, thus completing feet. Then we need to... Should I have put more parts on this? Yes, missed a step earlier. Again. I need E22 off of both. It's just about 3 PM. It's now starting to cloud over again as well, so we might be due some more rain. I welcome it. Right. So, yeah, this one does go on first anyway, so let's actually put that where it should be. How about yourself, time-wise? Oh, okay, it's just not pointed the same. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, wow. Whereabouts in the world is it currently 10 PM? 7 hours, that's a fairly hefty difference. Philippines. I will say that's never a place... Like, I'm not the most well-travelled person. I've been here and there, but I've never been, like, that side of the world specifically. I've gone with family in the past more west than anything else. I can't even remember how many times I've been to Florida now. I think it's twice. I've been to America when I was a lot younger. But like, I'd like to visit like more eastern places, just to see different cultures and stuff. I find it all fascinating. As long as it's fairly flat, so I don't have too many uphill. As long as there's not too many inclines for me to climb up, I'll be alright. It's weird, because like if I visit like Mediterranean places, I mean, I'll admit it's been a lot of years since I've been anywhere Mediterranean, in terms like, but still where it's still markedly hotter than the UK. I won't bat an eyelid about the heat. It does nothing. Yet as soon as it gets hot here, I'm dying. I'm literally melting. it's such a weird... I think some people call it almost like holiday heat. Doesn't like affect them compared to like home heat. And I thought that sounded really dumb until I actually experienced it. And like, yeah, British summertime is just... Yeah, humidity definitely makes a big difference. And I think it's if you've got ways of escaping the heat as well. Like over here, as I said earlier, like there's no way you can go where you can really get away from it. What do we need? E1 and 223. E123. Where are you? The back here. But say I haven't been on like a trip out of the UK for a very long time now. Like, because honestly, it costs far more money than I've had in my adult life. So I haven't had the opportunity. I'm hoping next year. Now I'm not going to say financially stable because I wouldn't want to risk saying it, but now things aren't as bad as they were. Hoping to save up and visit like one of the Canary Islands, perhaps, next summer with my non-platonic roommate. And eventually we'd like to they really want to go back to Japan because they study Japanese, and it's kind of like it's one of my bucket list countries to visit. So that'd be cool if the opportunity ever arises. Alright, we're nearly there. D's 12. Ha, and 2 A5s. A5, 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 yeah. Yeah, they were not like I think they were Osaka. I think that's where they studied. 'Cause they were over there for a year, and like they went to Tokyo for. Pretty sure they went to Tokyo for like a day out, like day trips and stuff to visit to see it. But they didn't live there when they were in the country. I'm fairly sure. I might be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. I do listen to what they say most of the time, but I got a lot of crap rolling around in my brain, and sometimes I forget details. That's my excuse, and I'm going to stick with it. But yeah, I'm a big fan of the culture. Yeah, I like Japanese culture, Japanese food, and stuff like that. But I'd want to go to see the things worth seeing. I don't necessarily want to go to be squashed on a public transport and not being able to breathe. I think again I'd like to perhaps see Tokyo, but I'd probably go wherever they say's good to go, because they literally spent a full year of their life studying over there, so they kind of know the country fairly well. Like, they wouldn't say they're a savant as such, but okay. So that's going to be on the inside of each leg, isn't it? Though I will say one of my stupid life goals is to spend a night in the Godzilla Hotel. Yeah, I have a moderate to severe obsession with the big green lizard. So, like, if I had the opportunity to spend a night in the Godzilla Hotel, I would dive at that. But he's like, I was one of those autistic dinosaur children growing up, and Godzilla very quickly became an obsession. Not that my parents figured out. I was one of those people that was not diagnosed until I was in my 30s. But we don't worry about that. My parents just thought I was quiet. Whoops. Scuff that one a little bit. Yeah, one night in the Godzilla Hotel and I'll be happy. There we go. Right, that is one hefty pair of legs assembled. So now it's just the joints themselves. E2931. Tidy a little bit more up on that one, actually. Ooh. Yep, my hands are starting to give up now as well. That's the other thing. I don't know if it's the clipping side of things, but after a while my hands just kind of get very, very floaty when I'm doing this. Guessing the other one's going to point the other direction. Because it's the other leg. There we go. Let's get my little picture of these ones. Ready. Yeah. Come back. Camera. Shmeep. Legs. Right. Set them to one side so I've got a little bit more space for doing the waist unit. E1, 5, 6, and 11. Excuse me, craft knife. I'd appreciate it if you didn't roll off the table and land on my lap. It's not the kind of close call I would like. Sure as I have no idea where I'm going to put this one when I'm done, because my cabinet's near enough full. That's for future me to worry about. That looks cool. A lot of detail on that. C217, that's the grey one. And E19. You. No, it's this one. This thing. Okay, it's a part. I thought I knew what it was, but I'm actually not so sure now. So it is in fact a piece. It is definitely Gundam related. Ooh. Getting clumsy. Is I meant to sit like that? Yeah. How? How? There. There. Like that. Okay. B215. B? Yes. 16. What? 16, not 15. Have to hoover in here. How? Ah. Like this? Okay. Y. G2, G's red. I can't wait for one of these bits for ages. 11. The Grundle locker. Yep, that's what this is. It's the bit that locks the Grundle into place. Okay, so you go in like that onto there. Oh, no, 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 up, 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 up. I want to. I'm just a little inconsistent at the minute. There we go. I try and do like 3 a week of various things. Whether it's Gundam stuff, painting, either PC games, or I've been trying to stream some PS5 stuff as well. But yeah, I like to try and do sort of 2 to 3 a week. I think I actually did. I think it was 3 last week. It was only originally going to be 2, but it ended up being 3 because I found I had an extra thing I could do, so I did it. Right, E18. Oh god, that's tiny. I'm going to cut you out with utmost care. E14. Clean this up before I put the smaller part on. I'll handle it as little as possible. Reduce the risk of dropping anything. Yeah, the ideal goal is like 3 a week, but it's definitely not always that because I have a lot wrong with me, and there are days when I just can't do stuff, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. So I just try and basically get sort of like 2 to 4 hours in whenever I feel like I actually can. B2. 17. That's E2, that's not B2. And a 17. There. I have finally figured out how to publish posts on YouTube, so that'll help. Yeah, they'll almost always be between sort of UK time. They'll sort of start between 12 and 1 p.m. And they'll go on normally till, again, UK time between 3 and 5, depending on how I'm doing. Like, honestly, it's probably not quote unquote the best time for me to stream to like where I am, but I don't care. Like, this is the time I'm really mostly alert and available enough to do it, and people drop in and watch stuff, so that's enough for me. I'm happy with that. So yeah, it'll be pretty much the same sort of time. It's just the days vary a bit. And by a bit, I mean a lot. I originally tried to stick to Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, but like, life things keep like getting in the way, and then meaning like perhaps I'm not available on Friday, or I can't do a Thursday, or I can't do a Monday and stuff like that. So I don't stick to a strict schedule on the days, but the times, that's the most consistent thing. I think the longest one I've done, I did a third-party kit, and I streamed the entire, I streamed the build from same sort of thing of what I'm doing here, where it was just the body. I started the backpack but gave up. I spent just about an hour and a half on the backpack before I gave up. I think I streamed for like 5.5 hours of just building, and like it was literally non-stop because of how stupid the kit was. And I was getting like rage gaming levels of stressed with it. Never again. Oh, that looks cool. That's a nice waste unit. That was the oh sugar, what was it? The Dabin Phoenix. Third party kit B219. I think it was called the Phoenix. It's the Unicorn Gundam. Gold. Yeah, the gold one. Yeah. But it was just so ugh. Like I got it relatively cheap, to be honest. Because I bought a guy's backlog, and it's someone else's backlog, because apparently that's just where I get all my kits from, just other people's backlogs. There were a couple of Verkas and that in it, and I looked at it, I was like, damn, this thing looks cool. They were, and they're not attached to it anymore. They lasted 5 minutes. The waist is so flimsy that it just falls over. The backpack doesn't actually fit in properly unless you cut a chunk of the back out, which is what I had to do to get it to fit. Got it in, and it was almost as though the weight just ruined the waist joint, so it just flopped and then fell backwards constantly. I know I can do various things to improve the quality of the joints and stuff, but after the hell it was to put together, I was like, I looked at it, I was like, I just don't want to. It really just disappointed me. But one of the other kits that I picked up was the Verka Unicorn at the same time. And I mean, that one wasn't for me, that was for my partner. They're now working on it. They've put the main body together over the weekend. The Unicorn, you physically can't. It just falls apart. Like I say, to put it, but it's shit. It's so bad. Which, as I say, is a shame, because I paid for the damn thing. But honestly, I was more than happy with the other two kits that were in that bundle of stuff that I bought. So I got the Verka, which my partner's putting together. The other kit is the one that I'm currently working on, working on the video for, which is also a Verka. I'll talk about that one a bit more once the video's finished. That was, for the most part, an absolute joy to put together, the one I did, but it had one element that I ended up giving up with, because I hated it. But it doesn't affect, like, the overall finished kit that much. Oh, On you go. This chap's got quite the crotch. Ah, so that's how you move the waist. I see. Interesting. Right, B1213. Yeah, the next Gundam stream, as and when it actually is, I wouldn't like to commit right now. Is going to be doing all the paw lining and stuff on the what's it called? Chimera, the Typhus Chimera. Because that's the only Gundam I actually have left to build at the minute. He's a big boy, very big boy. But I'm definitely looking forward to doing that one. Is that sprue empty now? That sprue is empty now. I can chuck that one in the bin. Is that the right? Yeah, that is the right part. That one's not empty though. Don't chuck that one in the we don't want it pile. Get the trim. Ooh. And across there as well. Did I do that on this one? I did. But yeah, the unicorn mode was horrible on that one, especially now looking at, because it's the same apart. I know it's the Verka one, but looking at how good it looks for the one they built, that kind of really nailed home how poor that kit was. I said on the stream, like, I genuinely, even if you can get it cheap in comparison, would not recommend picking it up because it sucks. These aren't the right parts. These are the wrong parts. Wait, are they? No, they're not. I'm looking at a different section. Ooh, let me try and remember. Because the person was selling the 3 kits that we picked up individually, and I ended up just buying all 3. I think they had it up for, I want to say it was 45 pounds. See, I really, damn. Oh yeah, the point of this panel line really is starting to die. That's annoying. I know it was still under retail here, because apparently it retailed fairly high. But honestly, I wouldn't have paid half of what I actually paid for it had I have known how bad it was going to be. Well, I just wouldn't have bought it, to be honest. Had I been even remotely aware that it was going to be that low quality. Haha! Ugh. get him in the camera, lay down. Yes, there we go. Comparatively, this thing was an absolute joy. That was a really nice, that was a really nice build for the main kit. Yeah, I'm very happy with that. Still haven't got a clue where I'm going to put him. He might go on the shelf with all the Funkos at the minute, I don't know. But, so there's a few more bits. When I get going, I don't like to stop, as such. And, like, I like to build things. I don't have anywhere near as much Lego as I used to, but I had immense amounts of Lego just dotted everywhere when I was younger. So yeah, Gundams kind of, they felt like a natural evolution in a way to my Lego obsession as a child. I'm really happy with that one though. And to be fair, I did spend over an hour prepping it last week, like with all the paw pens. But thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Like I really appreciate you spending, like, taking your time to, or taking your sort of like your evening to join in. Oh, God, my bum hurts now. But yeah, I don't know if I'll do the backpack and stuff at the start of the next stream before I start prepping the Chimera, or whether I'll do it kind of off camera and just post the pictures up. But we can get the main gist of the Gundam as it stands. There was a couple of bits in it that I'm a little bit not quite so happy with. These sort of shoulder joints don't feel as solid as I'd like them to. They're not bad, but they're not like incredible. These bits drop off, seem very flimsy, but I think they're not going to get touched much, so hopefully that's not going to be an issue. The chest unit was absolutely wonderful to put together. The head was great. The waist unit really went together nicely, and so did the arms and the legs. It feels pretty articulate. It feels very solid, except for those couple of bits I mentioned. I'm really, really happy with that kit, and I got that for, it was English money wise £10 under retail. I paid for it, which was a damn good saving, to be honest. So yeah, I'm super happy. I'm stoked to get it finished and on display. I think it will be. The waist feels, because like the side to side motion on it is, I don't know the correct word, but it clicks. So it feels very solid. Where it joins into the legs, they don't feel weak at all. The side flaps and all these are some of the best ones I've had on a kit so far. So I think he'll be fine with it. I do have a spare action base that should prop him up. If not, I think somewhere. But I'm hoping that he'll stand under his own weight and like posture and whatever, and if I can get a good pose on him, that like a good kind of fighting, like slightly crouched pose that'll counterbalance anything. But the backpack isn't enormous, and it's mostly sort of like leans over the shoulders, so yeah, fingers crossed that'll be fine. And I do have all the marks and stuff to put on it when I'm done as well, but I definitely won't be doing that on camera. I recorded 3 hours of transfers. Yeah, I'll put all the decals on it. There's a decal guide in the back, and I'll use the sheet that comes with it, so I'll cover it. But again, that probably won't be streamed. But I'll get it in my lightbox and get some really cool pictures of it and try and get them up on Instagram. I'll plug it again, yeah, because there should be a link to the Instagram on the channel thing. So if you want to see the completely finished product, that's where it'll probably be. But I might try the next stream I do if I've got time and I feel like it, depending on how much time I've got left this week, to get other streams in, and what I can do, it will affect whether I do the backpack on stream or not. With the start of the Chimera, if I do, then yeah. But as it stands, that is the GAT-X131 full mechanics. Absolute joy. Super stoked. Super happy with that as a kit. I've not scored any of mine, but that as a build as it stands is a solid 8. Might get affected slightly once I finish it, but I think that's what I might start doing when I've done the kits and put the posts up online, is kind of almost give them just a quick text-based review. And yeah, that's about it. I never know how to finish these, but my throat hurts, so I'm going to go and help myself to a very large drink and then go and start making my food for the evening. Thanks for dropping in. Thank you for sticking around for the whole build. I really appreciate it, and I really enjoy chatting, to be honest. So fantastic. I'll catch you guys at some point soon. Take care. Bye.